Good afternoon, everybody. And Parag ने मुझे वैसे ही introduce कर दिया है, but still to give you a background, you can call me Jaspreet. Just becomes a little complicated. So I have been into the field of psychology now for 13 years, and what I have done in these last 13 years is that I've spanned across corporates, individuals, sports people, senior management, decision makers, entrepreneurs for their journey. And as their journey happened with me, of course, my own journey also continued. I was working with Taj Group of Hotels in their sales and marketing department, and that's when I realized that I do not want to be a part of a 9 to 9, 9 to 6 kind of a job, and retire at the age of 60, wondering what am I doing with my life. So, as I would say that I retired at the age of 24, and since then I've been doing what I really wanted to do. Now, when they say about prenatal consciousness, I'm sure the understanding is different for different people. And here, what I mean is by prenatal, what I really simply mean is our education of the life inside the womb. Now, this is what prenatal does, what it does for all of us. We'll come to it in a while. And the mere awareness that the fetus has when the fetus is in the womb is absolutely amazing. This is what is coming from the latest research now in neuroscience and psychology. When you and I grew up, we were talking about psychologists like Sigmund Freud, and Freud talks about child psychology from the age of 2, 3 onwards. Nothing before that is supposedly significant in a child's life. And here we are with prenatal that says that whatever happens in the womb has a great impact on a person's personality. And of course, it's the primary debate of nature versus nurture. The impact of that life can be overcome by the nurturing that people do. Nonetheless, it is for our information to know, since all of us, you and I, everybody has been through the womb of 7 months, 9 months, whatever it may be, that the 6-month-old fetus has complete awareness of emotional nuances. Isn't it amazing? We think that little being who's developing in the womb will not have any idea about what's happening, but that's not the case. He is completely aware. Before I move on to this topic, I would want to tell you how this came about in my life. As you know, the background already, I'm a psychologist. I have been in the field of NLP, and that's where Parag and I met. Now, with psychology and NLP, I have had a natural bent towards metaphysics and spirituality, and there were questions at that young age that I was answering for myself. That's when an introduction into meditation happened. And as weird as it may sound to people, in one of the meditations about 7 years ago, it came to me that I am supposed to take on something which has to do with people who are impacted by what happened in their womb. I, of course, like a logical being, disregarded that and said, मेरे माइंड का होगा, छोड़ो, ये सब काम नहीं करना, सीधा साधा काम करो, talk about NLP, talk about logical stuff. That is what people buy, that is what people like. And unbelievably, for the next 2 years, it kept coming to me in meditation that you have to start this, you have to start this. So much so that I was literally kicked into starting these workshops. And since then, what I can say is that life has been amazing. It's been unbelievable, the results that have come out with these kind of workshops that I have done for individuals and for groups. Now, what is it for? The moment you hear the name, it may be that you may feel it's for a woman or it's for somebody who's expecting. What do I have to do with all of that? Of course, it is for expecting women, but that's like a very small segment that I am dealing with, at least at the moment. The major chunk of it, more than 90%, is adults, people like you and me. And where it has come about is that I was looking at patterns of people's life, and I realized that there were few things that was happening in their life that did not have genesis in this lifetime, or people who believe in a past lifetime, it had no genesis there. Because most of the clients that turn up to me are the people who've been to a lot of therapists, have been to psychologists, have done a lot of research of their problem that they are facing. They've also gone to the PLRs, to Reiki healers, to other modalities. So I know that they've covered that bandwidth already. And if the problem has not been solved there by either a therapist or a psychologist before me, or in a PLR session or Reiki session, then I know it has probably something to do with life in the womb. When I was doing research on this topic, I figured out that a mother's attitude towards the child, her circumstances, and the father's bonding with the mother and the unborn child are the four factors that have most impact on the life of the child. Because the fetus, when it is born, it will begin to view the world from that angle. And if we look at the Indian parallel of that, we have Atharvaved, which has the Garv Sanskara. It talks about the same thing. The recently aired episode, not the episode, the recently aired Mahabharata will also come to a point wherein we will see Abhimanyu entering the Chakravyuh, and he's attributing his knowledge of entrance into the Chakravyuh because of the information that Arjun gave while he was in his mother's womb. So because of oxytocin, there is a temporary amnesia that sets in the individual, and he or she will not be able to recall how the birth happened or what happened when he was inside the womb. But it is extremely instrumental. So it is for adults, it is for people like you and me. The mere simple purpose of this is to begin with healing. Once you are healed, you have the power back in your hands. Once the healing and the power occurs, it's a natural integration of your being rather than being in splits of, I feel this way as well, but I feel this way as well. So all the divisions within a human kind of come together and we become one integrated being. It is a modality that helps people break the patterns, and we'll talk about it again in minutes to come. And ultimately, I think it provides us with a choice. Something that a lot of people who've been dealing with challenging situations one after the other may not feel that they have a choice. So unless we sit back or we've done a lot of work on ourselves, we may not think that everything that happens in our life is a matter of choice. Lastly, it also is about connecting you back to the source. So like there is a mobile, and a mobile has a charger. So each time you run out of battery, you have to go back and plug the charger in and put the charge. Similarly, I think parents for all of us are our source point. If there is some bit of incompletion or any kind of unpleasant feeling that we have with either of them for whatever reasons, that will have an impact on our life. And for us to work with full power, it is important that we completely disconnect with that unpleasant feeling and come back to being complete with our parents. Now, in my experience of 5 years of this modality, what I have seen is that people who've come and tried doing a prenatal session or a workshop are the ones who've tried a lot of things, as I said earlier as well, from healing to PLR to NLP to therapies. They had done it all. Because as John Grinder says that it's never too late to have a happy childhood. Sorry, Richard Bandler says that. So it's never too late to have a happy childhood. It basically means that our patterns of conditioning are coming from the childhood. Now, when that is not the case, what do we do? Things about, I feel a lack in my life. I feel that there is some bit of being that says in me that I am not wanted, I am not good enough. These are the kind of people who we know would have something to do with the womb. I was dealing with a case in 2017 July, and that guy from Bombay, absolutely tall, well-built, bald guy, he came in for a session, and the first look of him was My goodness, he's a strong man. It didn't take much for him to be in tears after he started talking about his life. And he said, Just I've tried committing suicide 3 times and I've failed. Can you imagine what a failure I am? I don't even have success when it comes to committing suicide. So we explored a couple of things around that, and then I took him through this experience of prenatal. And we realized while he was in his mother's womb, the entire circumstances at home, whatever got built up at that point, were like that his mother didn't want to live. And hence the will to not live was passed on to this child as well. So that time he was some 45, 47 years of age, but he still had that feeling of not wanting to live. People who have headaches and migraines that have not gone in spite of healing, medication, that also is a possibility that it's coming from the time of the womb. And I am a case of that. I have been somebody who has never been without a headache. And it's not an exaggeration, I mean it. I used to ask people that, you got to ask me, when do I not have a headache? That was my condition. We got all the tests done. We got all the wires in, whatever is required for the head brain. But there was no problem there. It is when I started researching on prenatal consciousness, I realized, and then I checked with my mom. And I said, Mom, you always tell me that I've been a normal delivery. But I want to know, by any chance, was I a forceps delivery? And very casually, she said yes. I said, oh my goodness. Because with forceps delivery, there is a higher chance that the child may develop headache, tension tendencies, or migraines in future. And it is only when I went back into that process of prenatal, completed stuff there, I am now touch wood free of headaches now for about 5 years. So similarly, other things that people may complain that they do not feel very secure in relationships. I've had a woman who I went and did prenatal with, and she said that I always have men who are emotionally unavailable. And I don't seem to know what I attract there. So her bit of insecurity was coming from the womb and the environment that she was in, because she is the middle child. And she is not beautiful as per the conventional definition of beauty in India. And she always thought she was the ugly duckling. And this came back to the experience of the parents while she was in the womb, wherein they didn't want to have this child because they were thinking that the financial condition does not allow me. So this bit of confusion or loathing or not wanting a child at that point in time had a repercussion on her personality, and that was there till the time of when she came to me. She was 29, 30 years of age. Other type of cases, people with phobia that do not seem to have origin anywhere else, either in this lifetime, in the childhood, or in the past. People who have experienced of closed spaces. I have an aunt, she was telling me the other day that she has had an experience wherein she could be inside the room and be comfortable, but the moment somebody locks her from outside, even when her son does that just out of a joke, she would feel very tense and she cannot be in that environment. So even when she goes to take bath, if the son does that from the outside, latches the door, she feels very, very uncomfortable. And when we were talking about her experiences or what happened, her mother is not alive, so she could not get that confirmed from her. But she said that, when you took me back to the womb, I was so uncomfortable. I felt so suffocated. I wanted to come out of it. There are people who cannot wear neck wear and headbands and all. So the headgears and the neck wears that people cannot wear, that also is coming partly from the womb experience, wherein during birth, if the umbilical cord gets coiled around the neck, that's the kind of experience that we have. Now again, I would want to point this out, that I do not mean that anything that you're experiencing is coming from the womb. What I'm saying here is that if you've done work on yourself and the problems are not going still, and this is true for you or anybody else, then it's a good idea to explore that part of life which is actually not considered active. On the contrary, it's actually one of the most active parts of life. It has also been shown in research that women who drink and smoke usually end up with babies who are depressed. So the fetus feels that lack of oxygen because of smoking by the mother, that he immediately has a reaction of anxiety. That anxiety later on results into an anxious, panic-stricken human being. Another factor that comes in is when you have any kind of ambivalence. If you look at the women of today, I see most of the people here who've joined in, quite a percentage is that of women. We may be in the zone that I don't know whether I want a child because it's my career, it's not very important. You know, who gets married nowadays? We may have all those opinions coming up. And at the same time, unconsciously, they may want a child because as a woman, as a maternal instinct, you want a completion to that as well. Now, with those feelings of ambivalence, in the earlier times, our parents or grandparents, it must be money or surroundings or relationship with the spouses. But here it's our career, financial independence, the feminism wave that has hit the entire world. Now, with that ambivalence, if a child is born, the child is born is bound to be having apathy. He will not be able to relate to most of the things. He will be uncomfortable in social environments. And this child will grow up to be a distracted teenager, somebody who wouldn't want to listen. Similarly, anger issues, sexual problems, psychological problems to the extent of schizophrenia and criminal tendencies have been attributed to life in the womb. If there has been absolute confused state that people seem to be at times, there is a high chance it's coming again from the womb. Another thing that has been seen is that, there are few people who feel very rushed and hurried all the time. ये भी करना है, life बहुत छोटी है, यहाँ भागो, ये करो, वो करो. This also could be a reason from the womb. Usually, the premature born babies are the ones who feel hurried through life. And it's like a feeling that, I will perhaps never catch up. This is also a category which also has a 33% chance of being child abused, the premature born category. And in these 5 years, whenever I've worked with whosoever in this span of time, most of them have had the opportunity to go back and talk to their mothers. And they have been amazed themselves to get those things confirmed. So whatever they experienced in the session or during the workshop, when they went back and spoke to their mothers about, they said, oh, this is exactly what was happening. And there's a conversation that then unfolds about what happened when they were being carried by their mother in the womb. There are a couple of other cases as well, to tell you a cute little case, which is about this 2-year-old girl. And one day her mother observed that, she was playing in her little playground area that she had. And she went in and she was repeating these 4 words time and again. And those 4 words were breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And with that particular tone. And the mother got really intrigued what was happening. So she spoke to her doctor casually that I heard my daughter say those things the other day. And while in a discussion, it so came about that she used to go for Lamaze classes when she was expecting her. And it was in the Lamaze classes that they used to do the breathe in, breathe out in this tone, in this manner. And she somehow picked it up at that point. And one day, casually playing, she's just playing it in her head. Similarly, another incident of a young man who used to have hot flashes and anxiety attacks. It is only when he was taken back to the time in the womb, it was realized that his mother at the 7th month wanted to abort him, and she did not know what to do. So she just went in and started taking a hot shower, a hot water shower, and that left an impact on the child because the 7-month child could not be aborted. Now, when the child was born, he grew up to be an anxious adult and somebody who would have hot flashes. It is only when he was taken back to that time, things were cleared from that point, is when he came back and started living a normal life. Other things that would happen is when somebody is unexpectedly lethargic. Some bit of lethargy, especially during the times that we are facing right now, is absolutely fine. But when the person is purely lethargic and you do not really have a reason for that lethargy, a lot of aggression, food abuse, excessive anger. So I'm telling you these plethora of things that have been happening, the kind of cases that I've been seeing, for you to have an idea of what kind of experiences could be coming from the womb. Anybody has any questions till this point? You can just unmute yourself or raise your hand. I'll unmute you and answer. Okay, I have something in the chat box. Let me see what that is. Yeah, I don't know who's written that. I cannot see the person's name. That's right. That this is something which has been there in the system. All of us, we may not have research to it, but we've felt it all along. Now there is a lot of research. In the past 20, 30 years, there is actually a lot of research that has been done on this particular subject. And more will follow in times to come. And here what is done is, I don't think that bit is really solved only through psychology. There has to be a combination. So I've been fortunate enough to learn a lot of modalities over these last 13 years. And somehow I now realize with that meditational message coming in that I was to combine a lot of these modalities from the spiritual metaphysics world to the world of psychology and come up with a comprehensive way to handle this particular situation. How is child abuse related? Child abuse is usually, even if you Google, you will find a lot of research now that has been done, that it is said that a premature baby would have more of child abuse than a normal 9-month baby. The reason that they are citing for that is that, the baby has not had full time of development in the womb. And since that full safety and security of 9 months, which is what it is supposed to be, hasn't come, they are absolutely prone to child abuse. Similarly, the C-section babies, the cesarean kids who are there, they are the kind of kids who would have issues when it comes to physical contact. They would either have physical intimacy problems, or they would have issues related to craving for physical contact, like what we call as cuddle hunger. So there would be people who would be needing that. Now this category, as it moves on, may become a part of promiscuity. Because if you look at promiscuity, it's basically, for a lot of women, it's the need to be held, which did not happen for those 9 months or when the baby was delivered through the cesarean way. Or for a man, it also is about feeling the serenity of the womb. And when a sexual experience does not make the person feel that, he looks for it in multiple partners. There are a couple of more questions. How do you go to prenatal stage? Well, that's what I do. That's what my job is. Through processes, I take people to that point and we go in there. There's something else. As far as acne is concerned, if you've been to the doctors and if you've had a lot of therapy already being done on that, it could be your hormonal stuff. And if that is fine too, you see, the level of progesterone and estrogen goes very high in a woman when she's expecting. And those balance of hormones become very important. Those women here who've been mothers, they know this fact themselves. So when there is a mismatch of those hormones, that also will be impacted because it is through the umbilical cord that everything gets transferred. So there may be a chance that the disruption of hormones happen from the mother to the child at that point. Nonetheless, I haven't had any case of acne that I've addressed through prenatal. What results in excessive anger in the child during pregnancy? There are a couple of reasons for that. One reason is if there are fights between the couple. If there is aggression, the father's yelling, the mother's yelling is a very important factor. You see, the fetus from 4th month onwards is sensitive to sound, rhythm, melody. So anything that you speak in a nice, smooth manner goes down very well. But anything which is spoken in an aggressive manner, so loud music like rock music, does not go well with the fetus. The mother's feeling of anxiety, anger, fear would result in excessive anger. So father's attitude, fights if they go through that, mother's own attitude, and exposure to loud music are basically the reasons why a child may become very angry as the child grows up. I'm just looking at other questions. So a lot of people are asking me about how can we access that, how can we go there, and as I said that it is a combination of a lot of modalities. What I want to do right now is, this is going to be over in 8 minutes. If you want to join back, I will take you through a very simple process of just getting a connection with the womb. It is not the complete process. It cannot be done over a Zoom with 20 people in a short span of time. But I will give you an experience of what you feel when you get there. And if anybody wants to share anything about it, please go ahead. Priya, you've raised your hand. I'm going to unmute you. Yeah, Priya, I think you could just go ahead and talk. You're unmuted.
हाँ तो मैंने जब मना कर दिया था, मैं कहा मत लाना, मन भी नहीं कर रहा खाने का फ्रोजन वाले.
Yeah, Priya, go ahead. Priya, we can't hear you. Okay. I think she's either trying to figure out the audio or the raised hand was by mistake. Okay, any questions that you have? Otherwise, what we can do is we can go out and log back in for that meditation for you to connect to your mother's womb and see what kind of feelings do you get. So if you have any questions, we still have 7 minutes. Otherwise, we'll just log out of here and log back in. Should I take this as no questions? Parag, are you there? Do we log back with the same ID?
Yeah. Jaspreet, everyone should, if they are getting logged out once the Zoom session gets over, they can log back with the same link which they have received on their IDs. So there is the same link has to be used to re-log in.
Okay, but we have 6 minutes left, so we could finish this meeting right now and have another one started.
Sure, that would be great. But the only thing, if it just logs off automatically, the same link has to be used to re-log in to join back your session. Yeah. Otherwise, you please continue till the time it is not via Zoom. Zoom is not getting logged off automatically.
Okay. So, any more questions that you have? I could go on sharing this information, but it's just that it will not be done in 5 minutes. So if there is
Josh, yes, Josh, I can put my question in 5 minutes, I think.
Sure.
I like, this is a very interesting topic, and new research, and everybody is interested in it. I just wanted to know, like, we have a few students in school who cite very disruptive behavior. Can this, help those kind of students if we talk to their parents and, tell them to go through this? Because we don't find any other abnormality, but at times, they are not diagnosed with any psychological problems or anything as such, but we really don't know why these kids are behaving in the way they are doing, and that's not like every time. Suddenly sometimes we see them doing that, and we really feel sorry for this kind of kids. So can your kind of people be of any help to these kids? I was interested to know that. Yes, please.
Okay, so first of all, great question. It's a good idea to check with the parents and tell them about this new study, that there is so much of study that's happening in the prenatal zone. And instead of going too personal, you could just leave them with a question of what really happened in the surroundings when, the mother was carrying the child. Because as you're saying that they are absolutely normal, but once in a while they will exhibit such behavior. So in that case, just speak to them. If the child is still about 6 years of age, 5-6 years of age, that's all right. You could just tell the parents to get into a communication with the child and show the child that the child is really wanted and loved. If the child has the feeling of safety and security from the parents, a lot of issues that come up in the first 5-6 years because of womb issues get taken care of. So just by mere physical contact, which also is a form of safety, letting the child know that the child is actually wanted will make a lot of difference. If the child is above 7 years of age, that's when the personality kind of gets formed, and the parents are required more work to be done. But before that, we have to be sure whether it's actually coming from the womb. We do not know that. We cannot suppose that it may be coming from the womb. We have to be sure. So it's a good idea to get into a casual conversation with the parents. Leave them with that thought for some time. You see, anything new that comes in, people are not open. The first thing is resistance. You look at the lockdown. When it was announced, you were like, "Aise ki taisi, kuch nahi hota, hum to jayenge." So similarly, you come up with something new, and wherein people have to take responsibility and act, they will not do that. So leave them with a thought that this is what I read and this is what I'm aware of. You tell me if it is the case. And let them come back to you and tell you that, so and so, such and such thing was happening. So you will be able to connect and figure out if it is coming from that point. And it becomes important to address that, because these are the issues of the womb, then becomes problem for lifetime.
So I feel if it is addressed early, it is better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we can just tell them, and then later on, they can get help of, there are a lot of people like you who can help them out. Thank you so much, Jash. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nishri. Thank you it was a great question.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, it is not about recalling. It's just under 2 minutes. So I'll just address again. Very good question. It's not about recalling what all has happened in those 9 months. No. Little bit of anxiety, little bit of fear, minor fights here and there is all fine. It is not a problem. What becomes an issue is, number one, what is the mother's attitude and feeling towards that child? How does she feel about the unborn child? Secondly, what is the space that she's in? If she's going through a lot of stuff, repetitive patterns of challenges where there are no solutions, this will be a problem thing. If it is a stormy marriage, just by a stormy marriage, the chance of physically and psychologically damaged child increases by 237%. So these are the factors that matter. Another factor is, how is the mother's relationship with her parents? So if you have these things sorted out, mote 4 cheezein, that is more than enough. Everyday fears, anxiety, or whatever it may be, those things are absolutely all right. It's a resilient being. It can take care of those things. It's only the deep-seated problem that will pose problems to the child.
Hello, Jess. This is Nisha here.
Hi, Nisha.
Jess, I recently am dealing with a drug addict case, and he is 22. And I know, because I have gone through the history of mother, and she do not wanted this child to come in case of a drug addict boy. He is 22. He is working. And as I have taken a case history, I know the mother was very much against this child. Even before conceiving, she was not ready to go ahead with conceive. And father desperately wanted this child. And I know the psychological condition of the mother. She it is a dysfunctional family right now, even today. So do you think if child is not ready to work, like he doesn't allow me to work, if I take it through the PNC or any other thing, and child is not allowing me to work on him, is it okay, or is there any way where we can work with mother and disconnect these memories?
I think the mother definitely needs to be worked upon because she's carrying a baggage and that got transferred to him for sure. But now that the child is grown up, I don't think we can do much with the mother that will have an impact on the child. See, till the time even the umbilical cord is attached astrally, there still is a bit of a chance that some work may be done. But in this case, he's a grown up. So even if you do that, it's not going to make much of a difference. It has to be the child's prerogative.
This one.
So it's only when the child decides, and he's a grown up, he's not really a child in that sense. If you have a conversation with him and tell him that, probably that'll make a difference. With addiction, nonetheless, Nisha, it always is about a lot of rehabilitation work, and it's something which is a very difficult thing to do unless he has a clear motivation to come out of addiction. And once he wants to come out of it, then he'll be open to therapy as well. And the way you're talking, it seems that the womb work will be very beneficial for him. Another category.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah, tell me, please.
Another category, it came from the drug addict point of view only, is that of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. There have been cases which have involved trauma throughout a person's life, and one of the reasons for that has come out to be the life in the womb. So that's another category that gets worked upon with this. Parag is asking me to share my contact details. Here I go. Any other question? Otherwise, we'll get straight into the meditation. Any question, anybody? Okay, so this is a very short meditation. This is just for you to experience what it is to be in this zone. And for that, what I would want you to do is just be comfortable. Close your eyes. If you're wearing specs, you could take them off. And you could be comfortable sitting up. That's perfectly all right. And just close your eyes. Becoming aware of the surround sounds. Moving your attention to your own body. Your breath. Becoming aware of your thoughts. And moving attention to how you're feeling at the moment. So just allow yourself to settle in and imagine the form of your mother in front of you. Your biological mother, imagine her form in front of you. And imagine that there is a thread, a silver colored cord coming out of your navel and reaching out to the navel of your mother. Imagine a silver cord, a silver colored thread coming out of your navel and reaching out to your mother's. Imagine a cord coming out of your heart, a silver colored cord, and reaching out to your mother's heart. Just get a sense of how it feels to be in the same space as your mother. Think about the recent conversations that you've had with her, or the last conversation that you remember having with her if she's not in the physical body anymore. And recall conversations with her in your younger days. Any conversation that just comes up in your mind. Just recall any conversation with your mother. So you imagine a form of your mother in front of you. Allow her to be connected to you through your heart and navel with the silver colored cord. Go back to the younger days. Go back perhaps to the time when you started working and just get a sense of your feelings, your thought patterns, your behavior with your mother. Let's go back to your teenage years and get a sense of feelings, your own behavior. Let's go back to childhood days. And see if some incident just pops up in your head. Something that happened between you and your mother. Something good, not so good, whatever it may be. And just get a sense of what it made you feel, what you thought about it. And let's go back to even younger days. Most of us may not have memory of it. Just get a sense of how it feels to be in your mother's lap when you were much, much younger. 3 years, 2 years, 6 months. And going back, getting an experience of the womb, of being in your mother's womb, just getting a sense of how does that make you feel. Absolutely no judgments, no opinions around it. Do you feel comfortable, safe, secured? Or is there some fear, discomfort? Whatever it may be, just observe. Just get a sense of how it feels to be in that space. And as you experience that, allow yourself to go through the process of birth, coming to being a 2-3-year-old, growing up, and coming all the way up to the current age. Being in the here and now. Looking into the eyes of your mother. Just say a small thanks. Pay gratitude. She's done the best that she could. She did the best that she knew. And as you pay her gratitude, just imagine the silver cord from the heart disappearing and the cord from the navel disappearing as well. Sending her back to the time and space that she belongs to in the here and now. Becoming aware of how you're feeling. Moving attention to your thoughts. Become aware of your breath and your body. Moving your attention to the surround sounds. You can come back here and open your eyes as soon as you wish. Thank you. Anybody, if you would like to share your experience, how you felt, or anything that came to your system? Yeah. Either you could raise your hand right in the chat box, or just unmute yourself and share your experience. Anyone? Hi Nisha. I can't hear you, sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, this is better.
Thank you so much, Jess. It was really a very different experience. As soon as you said ki you just feel that you're connected with navel, with the silver cord, there was a heaviness in my chest. And it was like a breathlessness when I went inside the womb, the experience in the womb. Very sad, very dull, that kind of things. It was suffocating and tears started rolling unknowingly. I was in that space. And yes, when you said ki just convey gratitude for whatever she has gone through, and still she has given me her best to, for my upbringing. Yes, that was the moment. I think that was an aha moment for me. That was really a very releasing and relaxing moment for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Each time somebody goes through this, and this is just one, 5% of it, I feel so humbled by being this medium, and the kind of experiences that people share is just beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Nisha. Thank you.
God bless you, dear. God bless you.
God bless you too. Anyone else, if you want to share something, please go ahead. Would love to hear from you. We have a little bit of time. If you could just speak up. I know writing in the chat is good thing to do, but so is speaking up. You could just talk here, how you're feeling or what you're experiencing. So people who are wanting to know, we will be closing in the next 7 minutes. And if there are no experience sharing, of course, sooner than that. But let's hear it from you. Let's hear what you felt, what happened. Okay, I guess people's experiences are such. Lata, yeah, do you want to speak?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I'm Lata here. I felt good when I went back because of late, actually, because of this lockdown, I've been thinking of my mother a lot and trying to see where I was and where I am and to try to understand myself, whether I'm really using myself completely now. So I was thinking of her, and my mother was very busy. We had a large family. She was always busy in cooking, cleaning. But few minutes that she had time, she could guide us. And these moments, and when she was angry, how she would show that anger. And now I realize that it was her frustration during those times. She was busy and we were disturbing her. So I could remember so many thoughts, and it was really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Lata. And that is something that I also realized, growing up in the 90s was not easy. Because, our mothers had to do so much. It was a joint family setup. And then there were issues I realized that my parents also had. And then one day something just came in and it kind of all settled down for me. When I realized that they may not be the best of husband-wife to each other, but as parents, they are doing the best for me. So their issues as a couple is what their stuff is. But what is being provided to me from the point of their consciousness or conscious parenting, to the extent of consciousness that they have, is just been perfect.
Yes.
It was, can I share something?
Yes, please, go ahead. Harshvardhan, right?
This is Harshvardhan, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I wanted it a little longer than, I'm also practicing craniosacral therapy, and in that we have done birthing process. It's a 1-day process where it's not 1 day. Basically, they gave us a homework that we need to talk to our mother. How was it when I was in her womb? Note down all the scenarios around that time. And then after this homework, we went for this 1-day birthing process, and it was really nice. So it gave me, the meditation also gave me that that glimpse of. It was really, really nice. I mean, going back to and seeing and feeling it. It was. Thanks for conducting it. Very nice.
Thank you, Harshvardhan. Glad. Thank you so much. It always is a great thing to just have that connection and just to see what it is. And people who felt good about it, I would even recommend that go ahead and connect with her often and even seek for guidance, because a lot of times humans are not able to say so much in words as they can communicate energetically. So when you connect to them via meditation, there is a lot of information, a lot of guidance, knowledge, blessings that can come in, because it's just the mind layer that just goes away in that. Yeah. Thank you.
May I comment?
Thank you.
May I
Yes,
comment?
Poonam. Of course.
Okay. Yeah, actually, yes, when you connected with the umbilical cord and then later on the heart cord, so there's you feel the connection because the energy is now flowing, and she's now almost 80, my mother, and very fragile. And when you moved us to be in her womb, at that time also, I mean, I felt that at that time she had so much of energy, and now today she's so fragile. And I totally agree. The intentions were good, but maybe their wisdom was whatever it was, and that's how they used to sort of monitor us or guide us. So we can't really blame as to what we think today that things went wrong, because they did their best or whatever was available to them. And I totally agree with that, and it was a very nice session, short session. Yes, thank you so much, Jaspreet.
Thank you.
A lot of success to you, and
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you. Anyone else? Anything? Or we will just close. Parag is writing about webinar, about feedback. Yes.
Yeah, so Jaspreet, it was really a nice, intense session. And prenatal consciousness is one area of everyone's life. We are very curious to know what all happened with us when we were in the womb. So you gave a little insight into it, a little insight, but you opened up a Pandora's box of curiosity to further our curiosity, and so it would be fair enough for everyone to receive your contact details for one-on-one connect at a later stage, and as well as share your Facebook page link or anything you have on website. As at Welzinar, we keep it's an open interactive session for the speaker, expert speaker, and the participants. So feel free to know each other more, because lockdown has brought on the forefront of our thought process is wellness and healing ourselves, and money has taken a secondary stage, though it is equally predominant at the top of our mind, but wellness has taken the forefront in our survival thing. So thanks for your time. It was a great session. Nice listening to you.
Thank you.
It was a beautiful experience going through the PNC exercise of connecting to my mother through her umbilical cord, and look forward to have more sessions of from your busy schedule and all, and look forward for all the participants to also find time from their busy schedule and think about their wellness along with you and other speakers on Welzinar. Okay. So I believe yeah.
Sorry, just 1 second. I've written my email ID and contact number in the chat, so feel free to contact me. You could just leave a message and we could talk one of the evening. Feel free to write an email to me. In case you miss out on the message in terms of my contact number, Parag has it. I'll be happy to hear from all of you. So you can connect with me anytime.
Jaspreet, actually, everyone may not have my contact number because they might have received the message from others. So, and I have, so it would be, so the speaker is, can do, because they come from far and wide groups, which I may or may not be a part of, and they may or may not know me. So therefore, speaker can do make things very simple by just sharing their number and contact number.
That I've done that. I'm doing it again. I'm just doing it again.
Please. And a request to each one of you, if you can send a video feedback on the number which I have posted on the chat room about the trainer and Jaspreet Bhatia and her session on prenatal consciousness, as well as on Welzinar, a 1-minute video. It would really help us good enough to spread our concept of making life better for more and more participants still are on the peripherals of participating in such workshops. So your feedback would really help others to come as to also participate further. Thank you very much for each and everyone over here for your time. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. See you.